You know what, sis? The woman that I have in mind right now that I'm thinking about that's heavy on my heart is a woman who didn't wait for permission, is a woman who didn't wait for the perfect circumstances or the right time or the best time or for things to work out, first, for her to, win in other areas of her life first, for her to make progress in other areas first. Like there was no perfect situation. The predicament was what it was. And she still went for her dreams, her goals, her big aspirations. She said yes to her, and everything after that changed. That person I'm thinking about is me because 9 years ago, I went out on a limb of a leap of faith, if you will. Okay. Taking my God given gifts, my skill set, everything I'd learned in corporate America over the tenure of my long 30-year career, everything I learned from my 25 plus years in nursing, 20 years in leadership, 10 plus years in consulting and coaching. And I decided that if no one was going to give me the opportunity that I damn well deserved at the time of the height of my career, when actually I was making a six-figure salary, a good paying job with great benefits package compensation, I decided during that time to leave the workforce altogether, corporate America, to cut the cord and actually take a leap of faith on myself. And I left corporate America in exchange for my freedom. The woman I'm thinking about is you today because you, like me, are an ambitious woman, high achiever, ambitious, type A personality, overachiever, perhaps, right? Somebody who knows what they want and they go after it and they don't stop until they get it. But you may not have said yes to yourself when it comes to what you want out of certain aspects of your life and what you wanted out of certain aspects of your business, right? And if you're in corporate America still, or kind of have your toe or your foot in the door over there, as well as running your own business right now, you're really stretched. And that means you didn't fully say yes to yourself. You just sort of said yes to yourself, sort of, kind of, but not really. I'm talking to you. I'm thinking about you today, just as I kind of reflect a lot of times and think about myself when I first started and compare it to where I am now and how far I've come. It has been by far one of the best decisions I have made for myself to date is to say yes to me without having asked for anyone's permission or waiting for the perfect time or the perfect predicament. I just did it. Even through the fear, I chose faith over fear. Until this day, I maintain unwavering faith, even when I'm afraid, because as you get higher, as you reach higher, levels, new heights, it is certain aspects of this thing that's kind of scary, right? So, but I still choose me. I still choose me. And right now, I'm thinking of someone like me, which is you, who, women like us, we look successful on paper, but we are exhausted in our spirit. Our souls feel empty, right? There's something more out there that we know we should be doing, and we just haven't chosen us yet. You haven't chosen you yet, not fully, right? Your spirit is tired. You check all the boxes that society gave you, but you still feel empty or lost or incomplete somehow. You are stuck in a cycle of burnout, over functioning, and people pleasing. And so right now you might be in this like inner battle before the breakthrough. I know what that feels like. I know exactly where you are right now because I've been there, done that. Okay. And you might be thinking, now, it's different for everybody, but for you, it could be maybe you're feeling like, well, this is just how life is going to be. This is the cards I was dealt. And so this is what I know. This is what I'm familiar with. And you keep staying or stepping back into familiar territory, right? even was true for me. I'm going to be fully transparent here. There was a time that after I stepped out on faith, I continued to believe in myself. I continued to build my business. I continued to do what was necessary to lead my legacy and to transform my life and to change my trajectory and the trajectory of my family and, my entire bloodline. I did that, still doing that. But there were times, for a variety of reasons that I can't get too deep into now, but I've shared my story a gazillion times on this platform, on my channel. Okay, you can always go back and watch those videos to learn more about my story. But I will say I have had a time where I had to go back, didn't feel like I had much of a choice to go back into the workforce. And unfortunately, it ended up being a cycle. Partially, yes, because it was the most familiar territory. It was the way that I thought I knew to make money. It was what I knew best, right? It was how I could get my foot back in the door quickly. I'm certainly not going to, I'm going to do what's necessary so I don't end up homeless, right? So you might be there too. But I kept going back to me. What was important to me, what was necessary, what I really felt deep down in my spirit and in my soul. And so at some point, I had to get crystal clear in how I was going to stop this crazy cycle, right? Because it was really maddening. It was like, oh my God, what am I doing here again? Right? I left the corporate plantation, and it felt to me, and this is real talk, it felt to me, being the Black woman that I am, a brown skinned woman, right? A woman of color, that I kept going back to the corporate plantation, and God kept, and my angels and my ancestors didn't want that for me. I didn't want it for me, but I didn't know another way. I kept being up against these very difficult circumstances that kind of put me in this weird predicament. And I had to make a decision. I'm going to stay in the unemployment line, or I'm going to go back into the workforce. What is it going to be? This is in the midst of me growing my business. This is me after I have, I made the rise and then I fell off, and then things went left and went south. And, it happens. It's life. I'm not ashamed to admit that. There are many people that are in life and in business alike, where you had some successes and you were at the top of your career or at the heights of your business, and something went awry, something happened, right? And you were left very little choice, or you had to do what you had to do based on what you knew with the information you had at the time. That was my story, in short. So I'm here to let you know that if that's where you are right now, it's still not too late for you to say yes to you. And like I was starting to say, I had to say yes to me again and again and again and again until the yes stuck. But as I was sharing a moment ago, I felt like I was set free from the corporate plantation, modern day slavery. I finally got away. And then I went right on back, and I kept getting more and more. And I know this might be triggering, but this is truly what it felt like to me, that I kept getting lashings, and there were consequences, in other words, is what I'm comparing that to. Consequences that I faced because I kept choosing to go back to what I felt comfortable with, what was familiar to me, because I didn't know another way. And to some degree, partially, it was because I had to, because I'm a registered nurse, a licensed, active, professional registered nurse, and more than one state, I had to keep my license active. So I kept telling myself that story as well. But then I had to get to a point where I was like, okay, but just because I'm keeping my licenses active, and just because I'm keeping, I want to make sure that I'm keeping my clinical skills strong, and my understanding of nursing, alive and thriving. Like, I did a lot of work. I went through a lot. I sacrificed a lot. My family sacrificed a lot, right? So I didn't want that to be something that I just did in vain and now I just let it all go, right? So in order for me to keep my licenses active, but also for me to keep my clinical knowledge and skills strong and solid, this was something I did. But did I have to go back in as a W-2 employee? No. So I started to look for things that were 1099 only, right? Self-employed, independent contract work, selling to corporate America. So you can leave corporate America, right, and still sell to them and secure contracts and make 5 or 6 figures just like you were, but without being a W-2 employee. And so that's what I mean, finding just new ways, new paths, doing it differently to just get on your freedom path. And that's why I deem myself not only a holistic business coach and RN health and wellness educator, but also a freedom strategist, because I have had to learn and teach myself and the women I work with now over the years that there's always a better way. There's always a different path. You don't have to stay on the course that you're familiar with. You understand? There's always a different way and another way and a better way. And that's what I had to figure out for myself. So say yes to you. Okay. Like maybe right now you're thinking life, this is just the way it's got to be. But what if I fail? And what if I do succeed? And that's kind of scary. What if I'm not enough? What if people don't listen to me? What if they don't believe in me or buy in me? Or what if it's too hard? Or what if, and then you have this guilt around investing in yourself after giving years and years of yourself to other people while putting yourself on the back burner and putting everybody else and everything else at the forefront. No more, sis, no more. It's time to say yes to you. Okay? There just has to come a point in time where there is a pivotal decision you make, period. There is a pivotal decision you make. And when you do that, when you stop waiting for someone to come rescue you with the understanding that you've got to rescue yourself, when you make a a powerful pivot, I meant to say, that's when you decide to book that call, to hire the coach, to hire a team, or to get some help, to join that program or that group coaching program or mastermind or that VIP day, to stop just investing in all these low ticket offers that's just giving you a part of the solution, but you want the bigger transformation. That's when you make the move. That's when you do the thing. That's when you get results. That's when you see progress, when you say yes to you. Do you understand? That one brave, courageous yes, just one is all it takes before it creates a domino effect and you start saying yes to more things that are right for you, that are in alignment with you and where it is you're going. That becomes the catalyst to everything else. That one decision, that one yes to you. Now, before we continue and before I get to my next point, if you're getting what I'm giving and you love these gems I'm dropping, go ahead and leave a comment right now so we can get this discussion popping. I would love to know, what is it that you are feeling right now? Where are you at in the journey? What's pulling on your heartstrings? What am I saying in this episode that's resonating deeply with you? And what are you now going to do differently about it so far? Let me know in the comments below. And by the way, if you're enjoying my content here so far, I'm glad you're here. Make sure that you stick around, but definitely hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss a single episode when I drop new content and or go live. Okay. Now, I want to get back to what happens next when you say yes to you. That's a great question. First of all, you gain clarity, and that is so important. The clarity you don't have right now. Clarity on your vision, clarity on your purpose, clarity on, reconnecting your values. What are your core values? Because that drives your decision with everything. What are those? It also helps to increase your income, get you bigger profits, allow you to feel more pleasure out of life, right? Have more peace. That's so important when you choose you and say yes to you. And all of this really has to do too, again, I alluded to this earlier, with alignment, right? Alignment is key to everything. So you want to prioritize your peace, your purpose, your power. You want to set boundaries. You want to choose joy. You want to choose you. Therefore, you have to say yes. When you say yes, you become you again, but more of you, a more powerful, aligned you. and your business becomes profitable and life becomes more enjoyable, and the things that you hadn't been doing this up until this point, you will start to do, and you will start to be, and it's just a beautiful place to be. It's you, this is where you need to be, okay? But it starts with that yes. And I know that seems like such a simple word. That 3-letter word is powerful. Yes to you. I want you to keep repeating that. That's why I keep repeating it. Live that like keep repeating it like it's your mantra. It is your new mantra. Say yes to me. I'm going to say yes to me. I am going to keep saying yes to me. Now, here's something else I need you to know. The woman who says yes to herself is leading, is thriving, is creating impact, is being an influential leader, and as a result, is getting a bigger income, doing the work she loves because she said yes to designing the life she loves so she can love the life she lives. Okay? She's helping others do the same. She is being a gift to this world. She is answering prayers. She is no longer chasing success. She is no longer chasing clients. She is embodying what she is pursuing. Say yes to you, sis. Now, if you are ready to say yes to yourself, just like she did, the women I work with, just like I did 9 years ago, and I continue to say yes to myself today, I want you to hop on a call with me. Book a Freedom and Focus Clarity call. Let's map out your next move. Okay. I'm going to leave a link in the pinned comment below and in the description as well. And I want you to also, if you happen, now that first resource is applicable to you if you are a woman over 40, no matter what your ethnicity is, your economic status, or any of that. It's applicable to any woman over 40 who is an ambitious woman, who is a leader, a legacy leader, who is wanting to leave corporate America or has left corporate America and now working in business, or is someone that's sort of sandwiched in between, whatever the case might be, and wherever you are in the journey, that resource is for you. But I have another resource if you happen to identify as a Black woman. I want you to grab the replay to the virtual Liberation Summit for Black women, designed for you specifically, okay? And see what's possible for you when you are in the right rooms and when you stop settling for less and start choosing you, all right? So that's my time. I'm going to tune out while you tune in. Be sure to share this video out with at least 3 friends, and make sure you watch the next video that YouTube recommends. As always, and until next time, I am wholeheartedly in this journey with you. Bye for now.